Hello and welcome to a new podcast, The Paddock and the Pavilion with Stephen Wallace. In each show, Stephen will interview someone connected to the world of horse racing or cricket.
Hello everyone. In episode 3 of my series What Was It Like To, I spoke to two-time Derby winning jockey Joseph O'Brien. Joseph first won the race on Camelot in 2012. When riding for his father Aidan, he became part of the first father and son team to win the world-famous race, a race which was first run in 1780. What was it like to win the Derby?
I suppose it was a dream come true in many ways at the time, Stephen. I was very lucky that I was going to the Derby for many years as a kid, and it was always one of the biggest races, if not the biggest race of the year, and even the ride in the race was very special.
So you dreamt of winning the race as a youngster. When did you first watch the Derby?
But I'm not sure, to be honest. I would say the first time I watched the Derby, probably one of my earlier memories, obviously, is Galileo winning the race. Obviously, he was a special horse, and that's one of my earliest kind of standout memories. But of course, it's an incredibly hard race to win, and there was plenty of days where things were hope that you might win the race, and you can come close, but not quite get the money.
I thought you might say Galileo because you were 8 years old when he won the race.
Yeah. So that's kind of the first. I think kind of the earliest memories that I have of the race, and listen, he was a special horse, and I remember how big an occasion that was.
We're going to talk about your two wins, but did winning the Derby change your life?
God, I guess it probably did because he managed to win the race, but in many ways it was just a very special occasion, and even to go and ride and for anyone to even to attend that day's racing, to see the track and the atmosphere on the day, I really believe that there's very few race meetings or race days that come close to it.
You first rode in the Derby in 2011 when you came fourth on Memphis, Tennessee. Did that prepare you for the following year when you lined up as the odds-on favourite on Camelot?
Yeah, definitely. It definitely did. I learned a lot about the track and like I say, about the atmosphere. And that was an amazing experience for Memphis, Tennessee to run so well. He was an outsider on the day, and it was a very special, that was a very special day.
Yeah, you came a close fourth behind Paul Moir, didn't you?
Yeah, he ran really well. I think he was only beaten 2 or 3 lengths. So yeah, it was a special day also.
And the night before Camelot's Derby, how did you sleep as a young 19-year-old?
Yeah, I'm lucky enough that I'm a good sleeper, and generally what's happening the day before, the day previous, or the day after that, I'm able to block it out and get sleep.
And your lineup as the 8-13 favourite, a field of only 9. What were the tactics?
I think the tactics mainly were to settle because it was his first time going further than a mile. So the tactics were to settle and basically ride him with some confidence from there.
And you hit the front 2 furlongs from home. Was that always the plan? You were a bit later when we talk about Australia hitting the front.
Yeah, I think it's just the way the race worked out. In Camelot's race, Dad's other horse, I think his name was Astrology, looked like off the turn he was going to slip the field. So I was keen not to leave him get too much rope on us into the straight, and so we ended up kind of moving into the beginning of the straight on Camelot, and he saw it out really well.
Yeah, you won by 5 lengths, and 2 years later you're back there with Australia. He was certainly bred to win the race, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was, absolutely. Obviously, it's well documented. He was by a Derby winner and out of an Oaks winner, but a special horse, and I think it was quite a big field that day.
Yeah, 16 runners as opposed to 9 in 2012. What was the approach on Australia?
The approach, I had a nice enough draw in the middle, and the approach was really to get a nice position, because in a big field like that, in a track like Epsom, there was always going to be quite a few traffic problems. So really the main objective was to try and get a position where we could avoid the most of them.
Well, you took the lead with a furlong to go and won by 1 1/4 lengths. And you said afterwards, I read, horses don't come any easier to ride than this one.
Yeah, he was very laid back, very cool customer, and really could place him anywhere you wanted in a race. So he was a dream to ride.
And how do those two winners, Camelot and Australia, compare?
Yeah, there were two different types, to be fair. Although both incredibly talented, Australia was a very cool, very chilled out horse, whereas Camelot always had, a nervous energy and was always ready for the race, and he was always one that we kept relaxed. So two very talented horses that I was very lucky to be associated with, but different types insofar as their mentality.
And watching the races again, did Australia handle the course a bit better than Camelot?
I think they both handled it really well, to be honest. Camelot cruised into the race down the outside. So I think, you don't win the Derby and not handle the track really.
And you heard there, well, you said there how difficult it is for a horse, but how tough is it for a jockey to ride in the Derby?
Yeah, it is tough. It's important that you have the horse's balance, and I suppose as much as anything, having a good horse is really what it comes down to. And then you have to be able to work out your tactics and ride your race from there. But it's certainly not an easy track to ride, and I think anyone will tell you that.
And is position in the race key?
Well, I suppose position in regard to how fast you're going is key. So yeah, you need a horse that will settle, but you also need a horse with some speed that will be able to get a nice position and hold his position. And then you need to stay, because it's a long way up there. So, it's said that it's the ultimate test of a thoroughbred, and I think it really is.
Well, you certainly had an excellent record in the race. Along with the 2 wins, you had 2 fourths and a 6. You're really a master of the downs in 5 races.
God, I don't know about that, but I was lucky to have some great days there, and yeah, ones I'll always cherish.
Well, you started training in 2016, and you've since had 2 runners in the Derby. Is it a race you want to win?
Absolutely. I mean, any trainer in the world would tell you they would love to win the race, and for sure we would love to hopefully have something good enough to compete in the race, and then to think that we might be able to win it from there would be special. But it's a race that we love to be able to take part in this year, and going forward we might be able to again, and please God, someday in the future we can try and win it.
Well, your dad's won it 8 times. I know we're recording here a month before the race, but you've got a possible runner this year, haven't you?
Yeah, it's probably early days to say, but we have a possible runner in Buckaroo, but he has other options as well. So really it'll be discussed with the owners, and where he goes finally is yet to be decided.
And coming towards the end, how important is the Derby in the modern era? Is it still the key to thoroughbred breeding?
I think when you look at the stallions that have won the Derby over, anywhere over the last 10 to 15 years, it really is the ultimate test of a thoroughbred. There's no doubt about that, and I think it always will be. And because of that, the Derby winner will always be looked on as among, if not the best, among the best of his generation, and as a result, it will make stallions.
Well, thank you, Joseph, for coming on the paddock and the pavilion and sharing your what was it like moment.
Yeah, pleasure, Stephen. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to The Paddock and the Pavilion. You can download the show on Apple Podcasts,
Amazon Music,
SoundCloud, Stitcher and Spotify.
Follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram at The Pad and Path. Don't forget, if you like the show, please do leave us a rating and review.